Hi, I'm Tracy Ashbridge, accredited lead teacher, and this is the presentation that I presented to the Holt Summit 2021 in Brisbane online. Just in case you haven't seen it, this is the same information again, just presented again. So my journey to lead teacher started in 2018. I was invited with a number of other teachers to consider application, and I decided that yes, this was something I wanted to do. And I spent 2019 building my portfolio, and it took the whole year. And it was June 2020 that I found out that I had passed stage 1. I had a few orange ones, but nothing white and plenty of green. And in August 2020, I decided that I'd do my stage 2 visit virtually, which meant that if there were any more COVID outbreaks like there are right now as I'm talking, that it would be able to go ahead and I'd be able to plan for that. In September 2020, I finally got that piece of paper that I was looking for, that official recognition. Yes, I'd done it, and I'd made lead teacher. And we had a beautiful presentation at Customs House just after the end of the school year in December, where all our feathers were puffed up and told how important we were to the teaching profession and what an achievement it was to be in that 0.3% of teachers. So what have I done since then? Well, at the end of last year, I mentored a couple of colleagues who didn't make it through with me to help them to put some more information together so they could reapply. And I'm pleased to say that both of them have now got through stage 1 and are waiting to do stage 2. I also decided to qualify as a Holt assessor. And I wasn't sure I wanted to do this, but I'm really, really pleased that I did. It was a really, really useful training to undertake. It was quite long and it wasn't very exciting, but I really, really enjoyed the marking of some Holts this year. This year I'm also mentoring 2 applicants, a lead and a highly accomplished teacher who are working through the process. Somebody's already approached me to do, I think, a lead teacher in 2022. So I'm pretty busy mentoring. So why did I do a Holt in the first place? Well, personal recognition of excellence. I know that I'm a good teacher, but I like that to see that written down and it nationally recognised. So if I want to move state, I have that recognition and it's recognised nationally. And for me, being an overseas qualified teacher, moving from school to school is always a complete drama. They're always wanting to know, when did I start teaching, where have I taught, how many hours have I taught in every place I've ever taught. So this national recognition means I am a lead teacher. You don't need to look any further. It was really good for my own professional development. There were lots of things I investigated further and looked deeper into. And I really did have a deep reflection, there's an L missing, I apologise, of my practice as I went through and knowing my impact. I've always been really conscious to know the impact of what I'm doing. So I'm quite enjoy, sadly, looking at the data and going through and going, okay, so this is where we started, this is where we've ended, who made the progress, who didn't, and why, and what can we do next time to make it even better, or to change it completely if it really isn't working. So why mentor? Well, all the Holt teachers and lead teachers have a huge knowledge and experience to share. I've been through the process, but my own personal mentor hadn't, but she was still great. Professional dialogue with colleagues and to raise the profile of Holt. We need to have, John Hattie spoke that we needed 10% of our population of teachers to be a Holt, and at the moment we're 0.3% after 10 years of doing it. So we really need to raise the profile and encourage more people to step up. So why do you need a mentor? Well, applicants are already at the standard. I look around the school I work at, there are lots of people who are good enough to put themselves forward for Holt, but we all tend to underestimate ourselves. So we need to be encouraged and supported. We need to be made accountable. So I have regular meetings with my mentees. I work as a sounding board. I refer them back to the standards and challenge them. Have you met all the parts of this standard? Or what about this one? If you put this in, then you could also include the 3.1 or 6.2. And also knowing how they work in their school can highlight additional evidence they could include. For one of the teachers who I helped to resubmit, it was like, well, why don't you include this, this and this? Don't assume that the assessor knows things. Give them the evidence so it's really clear and really easy for them to go, yep, they've passed that number, that standard. Helping them stay on track. I wrote a blog post a little while ago about my journey to Holt and where I got to at each point in the school year, which really helps to sort of guide. I'm not behind the 8 ball, or actually I'm doing quite well. Reading annotations and providing feedback. Again, people assume that we understand what they do, but sometimes we just need to really clarify it for the assessor so there's no question. Supporting and guiding the next generation, I think I've already spoken to that one. One of the things is to help the applicant to tell the story of how they work. What do you do? What do you do every day? What do you do? How did you work through this? What was happened at the beginning? Then what happened? What happened after that? What was the impact of that? Obviously, enthusiasm and empathy are important, and being a good role model yourself. I dedicate regular time to meet with the applicant, so we meet once a fortnight. And also, being a lifelong learner is important. There's many things I've come across as I've been working through with my applicants, and I'll go, oh, that would be really good for that person. They could probably, use that in their HALT somewhere, or use that information to build something that, to show evidence of something. So certainly I'm sharing the learning I do with the people I'm working with. So it's important to provide good quality feedback. No, that's not enough. That's not going to cut it. And you have to be quite honest. Being an open and active listener is important. Listening to what they're saying, having knowledge of the standards, and knowing how to map the standards and how to look for gaps, and then where to go looking for that evidence. You probably have it that will fill the gaps. Occasionally, I've had to advocate for an applicant for they needed time, they needed access to certain information, and obviously the last one is really important. There are days when all they need is chocolate and wine. And I know my mentor was great at leaving Maltesers on my desk for those times when it was all getting a bit too tough. She knew that would get me through. So having that mentor-mentee relationship is really, really important. It's not a simple job to go through the process of HALT. I actually did my master's thesis at the same time, and I actually found that doing my HALT was more challenging than my master's thesis of 10,000 words. So you can make a really positive impact on those beyond in your school and help them, like you, to stand out. So here's the link to my blog post, which I'll put in the underneath this video, and also these are my contacts if you'd like to get in touch with me. Enjoy being a mentor, enjoy your journey to HALT.